You practice every day, memorize vocabulary lists, and write dozens of essays, but your score refuses to move past a 6 or 6.5. It is easy to assume the examiner reads your essay from start to finish and simply decides, based on gut feeling, that your writing feels like a Band 7. Human intuition has nothing to do with it. The grading process is a dispassionate, strict mathematical breakdown. Examiners are trained to evaluate every single word you write through 4 completely distinct, equally weighted lenses. The official IELTS marking criteria establish these 4 categories as the absolute law of the exam. Each of these elements accounts for exactly 25% of your total writing score. To beat the test, you have to stop trying to write a generic good essay. You need to engineer a piece of writing that specifically satisfies these 4 criteria. The first lens is task achievement and response. It asks one primary question: did you actually answer the prompt appropriately? Task 1 requires summarizing visual data in 150 words. Task 2 requires developing a complete argument in 250 words. Breaking basic formatting rules damages the score. Writing in bullet points or failing to produce full text triggers a penalty. A beautifully written essay will still fail this 25% chunk if it misses the core objective of the prompt or ignores formatting rules. Next is coherence and cohesion. This measures how logically your ideas are organized into paragraphs and sequenced together. A massive trap keeps candidates stuck at Band 6. They act like robots, mechanically starting consecutive sentences with transition words like firstly, secondly, and furthermore. A Band 8 response handles cohesion seamlessly. Instead of obvious transition words, high-scoring writers use reference chains like this approach or such measures to connect ideas without drawing attention to the machinery of the sentence. True cohesion guides the reader's mind naturally from one thought to the next, rather than checking off a rigid list of transition vocabulary. The third lens, Lexical Resource, evaluates your vocabulary. A common mistake is memorizing lists of complex, obscure words without truly understanding how they fit into a sentence. This chart maps how examiners view vocabulary. They actively penalize inaccurate word choice. You must balance vocabulary range with precise usage. Using natural collocations is far more valuable than forcing a long synonym into a sentence where it doesn't belong. Vocabulary is not about showing off how many long words you know. It is a tool for absolute communicative precision. Finally, grammatical range and accuracy requires you to prove you can construct a variety of complex sentences, rather than just repeating safe, simple ones. The gap between a Band 7 and a Band 8 comes down to the frequency and type of errors you make. A Band 7 demonstrates good control, but still carries recurring errors when attempting complex structures. A Band 8 requires the vast majority of sentences to be entirely error-free, with mistakes acting only as rare minor slips. To maximize this metric, your grammar must feel completely natural, capable of supporting complex ideas without buckling under the weight of mistakes. Remember, your final writing band is a strict mathematical average of these 4 separate 25% buckets. An unbalanced performance will drag your overall grade down. Perfection in grammar and vocabulary cannot save a failure in answering the prompt. Ignoring even one of these criteria leaves massive points on the table. You need to shift your testing mindset and start evaluating your own writing exactly the way an examiner does. Audit your last practice essay by reading it 4 separate times. Focus on just one of the 4 lenses during each pass to isolate and fix your recurring errors. A high IELTS score isn't a reflection of innate talent. It is the result of systematically reverse engineering the examiner's blueprint.